I was tasked at putting the truck back together because everybody I just mentioned had already been kind of petered out by the time the Sunday's rolling around. And same deal, Chrysler wants to put this new Dodge Ram truck on display on their turntable to welcome all of their dealers on that Tuesday morning. So the truck rolls in Monday night, and same deal, no door panels. No, like, seats are in it, no door panels, no headliner. So I'm, Revo, hey, what are we doing? What are we doing? Revo does the same thing, falls asleep. So wakes up sometime, things are coming up, and now I've got to play the whole, like, it's going to happen, guys. Don't worry, it's on the way, right? So it gets to the point where they roll the truck up onto the turntable, and the curtain's there, and I'm looking at it, and sure enough, Revo comes running in. He goes, can you put him in there? I'm done. I just drove here as fast as I could. So I'm on stage, and I could hear people kind of milling in, you can hear like cocktails and people starting to kind of laugh and stuff like that. And the guy's looking at me like, hey man, this is going. And I look at him, I go, 5 minutes or you don't have a car. And he looked at me, he goes, serious? And I'm like, I have the other door panel in my hand, 5 minutes. So sure enough, I'm like two-sided tape trying to get this thing on there as much as I just possibly can just to shut the door and walk off stage. Right. And as I do that, I shut the door, turned around, started walking off stage, and I saw the curtain opening. I mean, it was that close. Sure. So, and I want to say it was around I kind of think it's the same year. I got to go back and look at some of my photos.
Hey, welcome to Car Guy Confessions, brought to you by ARP. I'm Jeff Smith. This is my car buddy Cam Benty and car builder Steve Strope, and we're going to tell you some stories.
Really trying to push his buttons, aren't you, over there? You're going to get him into the red zone here pretty quick.
What's your name?
Yeah. Take us home.
Yeah. Where am I going?
That way.
Oh, okay. Hi. Me, Steve. So, hi, this is Steve Strope, and we are, once again, Jeff Smithless with Car Guy Confessions, brought to you by ARP-bolts.com. We are, once again, very, very fortunate to be filming here in the beautiful Peterson Automotive Museum in sunny Southern California. That's right, it's still sunny, even though it's, October? Yeah.
Well, technically it's dark right now because it's nighttime.
But it's sunny. Look, it's sunny during the day.
Yes.
Don't be a rat bastard. So, this is Jason Lewis.
Howdy.
And Jason's a automotive personality.
Sure, we could do that. Have a YouTube channel, AutoEdits. Jason. And
you're on dirt all day, even though you're behind the scenes.
I've done a bunch of automotive content.
So dirt every day?
Dirt every day, yes.
Dirt every day.
Yeah. Was over there for a little while.
And what do you do?
Well, I'm the guy that's usually behind the camera, but
he's the guy I'm usually going.
Right? And I have to go to this side too, but it's okay. So I'm Marcel Venable. I'm one of the producers.
Go back to old episodes to understand.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yes. So let's talk.
Wait, what do you do?
I'm the producer, one of the producers
here. No,
here.
not for the show.
Well, no,
You're also a car person.
I sure am. I am an
boat person.
I am a
automotive.
I
just call you boat people?
Wow. Let's keep it down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think the better term would be river rat. I think.
Oh, okay.
But okay. No, automotive journalist extraordinaire. So there you go. Extraordinary. I had to throw that in there.
I like it.
Right.
Go. Own it.
Cool.
Okay.
Extraordinarily what?
Yes.
So, and you've been, from being around you, it's very clear that you've been immersed into the performance automotive industry for quite a long time.
I sure have. Yep.
And that also came from family?
Yes, I have an automotive background. My great uncle was the famous Barney Oldfield, who was the first man to drive a mile a minute and was Henry Ford's test pilot in Henry Ford's first race car, which I'm sorry, not first race car, I think third. The famous 999 car, which was a tiller-driven car.
See, to quote Johnny Carson, I did not know that.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Good
Doc,
data.
play it again.
Good information.
Meanwhile, yes.
That's right. I let that one go.
Tiller.
People have to be pretty old to know that was a, yeah. People have to be pretty old to realize that.
Yeah, well, I am old.
Okay, yeah, true.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I build cars, tinker around with cars, foodle with cars. I like cars.
Yes, I think we all like
I think we
cars.
do. I
Yeah.
think we
Thank
like
God.
cars.
This is the right show, right?
Yeah.
And you probably do too.
Right, hopefully.
Hopefully.
We're not showing you how to make muffins.
No?
That could be kind of good, though.
I can do a Thomas's English muffin in a toaster.
There you go.
And add jam.
Wow.
All right, we need to go to, what are we talking about? See, this is, no one had a plan, right? So we got to figure out what we're going to talk about. What are we talking about? What are you? Oh, really? Yeah, that's great.
Look, it's
I love
something
to
that-
talk about that.
Look, I want to know, though.
What do you wanna
I've been
know?
friends with you for a long,
Like a week.
long time. And this time of
I
year
Wikipedia'd you.
always is very special to you. Steve, this time of year, you want to talk
Oh,
about
it's
why
special.
this time of
Oh,
year is
it's
very
special.
special to you? So we're in October shooting
Well, actually,
mid-October.
I am in a great mood to talk about this.
Yes. So I want to get them going because as a
Oh, no.
top-tier builder,
I will not fall into your trap.
the SEMA show is a big show that comes up every year.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And
I'm stupid enough to go to it constantly.
guys like him
Beat
are
myself
gluttons
up.
for punishment to
Yes, we
build
are.
Halo cars, and that's a car that is vying for the car that's going to win
Well, it's
SEMA or like
also
whatever.
supposed to show the best that my company can do.
Sure.
So when
All of the
Ferrari
things.
releases a Halo car, it's like, this is the pinnacle of our
Right.
technology,
So
the pinnacle
you
of our speed.
Choose to put yourself into this position
Yeah, there it is.
every
I
year.
step
It seems
right
like.
in front of that SEMA train.
So
Right.
here we are, mid-October.
been there, done that.
Few weeks away.
Yeah, well,
Steve, how you doing, bud?
I am okay.
Tell us about the shop.
Here's the deal.
What's going on in the shop right now?
This year, I am under control.
What?
Wow.
tell.
Wow.
Well, through a mild tragedy,
Oh no.
which I will not get into personal things.
Okay.
But the vehicle we were going to be unveiling
All right.
will not be unveiled. This got called off quite a while ago, a couple of months ago.
Okay.
Well,
still, that's still close to SEMA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we were already.
That's crunch time.
Already.
Yeah. Okay.
Strapping
Well,
in.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Sounds like you're
I could still-
pivoting pretty.
Believe
well.
me, I've got enough memories to tell you.
Okay.
Of getting prepared for SEMA. In fact, quite a long time ago, I filmed with the amazingly fantastic show that Bud Budsman created called Rides.
Yeah.
And we were building a car called Hammer.
Right.
And even in that episode, they didn't even film the stuff that
Right.
was going wrong behind the scenes.
Sleepless nights, parts
Oh,
not
sleep
fit-
deprivation.
fitting.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
it is.
a whole interior not done.
Oh yeah, like so. That's the level, the scope of the way
And
things go sideways, and what
It
you have
was
to deal
it was so sideways, and I was under so much pressure because my shop, I've already had a bunch of magazine features, right? But this is a new thing. This is our hot rod world being pulled into the television world
with. Right.
at a super high level. They were hour-long programs,
Right.
Rides was amazing.
high def,
Yeah.
and I have the luck out that they're filming me,
Okay.
right? On top of it, I'm unveiling this car in Chrysler's display.
Wow.
A decent amount of pressure.
Sure. High
And-
profile, to say the least.
Right.
And on top of it, when they were filming along with me, up to the very last day that they were with me, right? They were with me, let me see. If SEMA always starts on a Tuesday.
Yep.
That sounds good. So this would be probably the last day they were there in my shop was probably Saturday or Sunday.
Didn't it get on a trailer?
Uh-oh. Hey,
No,
hey.
no. While they were even there, we were trying to get it fired, and we found out the Aeromotive fuel pump I had, brand new, was misboxed, and it was carburetor pressured,
Oh,
not
not
EFI.
EFI. Yeah.
And so we, along, thank goodness, with the power of the TV show, we had a door-to-door runner.
Yeah. Greyhound
Leave-
bus.
Grab it in Vegas at Summit Racing and
meet
bring
you.
it down to us. And we got the car fired, okay? And the car's got no interior in it. I and one other person stayed to finish up wiring under the dash.
This
a
is
couple
the
of other
weekend
things.
before it starts.
This is days before SEMA.
so Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
So
Tuesday.
It's probably, in fact, it is Saturday night. No, it's Sunday.
Even better.
Yeah.
And we are supposed to move in on Monday. Show starts on Tuesday.
Right.
Sunday night evening, 7, 8, 9, 10. The interior person is supposed to come with the interior. The headliner's been put in. The dash pad is on. There's nothing else in the car. I fall asleep in the car waiting for the interior guys to show up, who's going to show up at 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to work through the night.
Right.
The rig is going to come pick the car up at about 5 in the morning.
That Monday morning. To
Monday
get you
morning,
To SEMA, right.
get it up to SEMA, put it into place in Chrysler's display by the afternoon. I fall asleep.
Yep.
I wake up about 6 in the morning. There's no interior guy that never showed up. Nobody ever called me.
Yep.
I called the interior person, and he said, "I'm sick. I don't feel good." And
Neither do I.
Without getting personal, that was not true. Oh, he was not feeling good, but there were other reasons.
Because he was finishing the Ford car?
Yes.
Now, okay, what year was that?
By the way, at the same time, he did not complete Kenny Wayne Shepherd's Extreme Lee's interior either. That was happening at the same time.
And he now works at the Piggly Wiggly, right?
So I don't know where he went, but
It was more than a decade ago that
Yeah.
you've been.
Oh,
so
so
this
it's
is
Because, yeah,
20
no,
years ago.
I was going to say,
So
what,
20
no, no,
years,
no.
okay, so-
What year was that?
a long time.
Like
all but 2 or 20
2002,
years
2004-ish, kind of? Like between those years?
Probably 2004 or so.
Okay. I think the same year, because I remember taking pictures of Hammer at the Chrysler display that year, okay? And no, I didn't pick on it by saying, hey, the windows are really dark. But,
No, it had an interior.
no, it did. It made it. Now, I was on a project for Chrysler as well, building a truck for a gentleman named Steve Pucaro, who is actually in a wheelchair. So we pitched the whole thing to Chrysler. Hey, wouldn't it be great to show some, an active person be able to take their wheelchair and put it into a car? So the guys at Devious Customs at the time, they kind of helped us make this little slide out thing, and we ended up kind of putting this whole truck together. And a friend of mine, Steve DeMann, helped us with the paint job. And Stitchcraft was in charge of the upholstery, who Stitchcraft, Revo Reeves, is a friend of mine since junior high school.
I know who he is.
So I was tasked at putting the truck back together because everybody I just mentioned had already been kind of petered out by the time the Sunday's rolling around. And same deal, Chrysler wants to put this new Dodge Ram truck on display on their turntable to welcome all of their dealers on that Tuesday morning. So the truck rolls in Monday night, and same deal, no door panels. No, like seats are in it, no door panels, no headliner. So I'm, Revo, hey, what are we doing? What are we doing? Revo does the same thing, falls asleep. So wakes up sometime, things are coming up, and now I've got to play the whole, it's going to happen, guys. Don't worry, it's on the way, right? So it gets to the point where they roll the truck up onto the turntable, and the curtain's there, and I'm looking at it, and sure enough, Revo comes running in. He goes, can you put him in there? I'm done. I just drove here as fast as I could. So I'm on stage, and I could hear people kind of milling in, you can hear cocktails and people starting to kind of laugh and stuff like that. And the guy's looking at me like, hey man, this is going. And I look at him, I go, 5 minutes or you don't have a car. And he looked at me, he goes, serious? And I'm like, I have the other door panel in my hand, 5 minutes. So sure enough, I'm two-sided tape trying to get this thing on there as much as I just possibly can just to shut the door and walk off stage.
Right.
And as I do that, I shut the door, turned around, started walking off stage, and I saw the curtain opening. I mean, it was that close.
Sure.
So, and I want to say it was around I kind of think it's the same year. I got to go back and look at some of my photos.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm on the phone, and I'm very upset.
Sure. Rightly so. You just got
Because,
stood up.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
my whole career,
This was a big moment.
I'm watching it go on fire.
Right, right.
I've earned the right to be involved with Chrysler.
Yeah.
I've earned the right to have my own hour-long episode on this brand new hit TV show.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be the chump even though it's not my fault.
Right.
Nobody cares whose fault.
Well, hold on. Let's back up too, because Hammer was a bitchin' car because nobody looked at Roadrunners that way.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Everybody kind of like
that car
Roadrunners.
still has a million copies.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a bitchin' car.
And thank you. So I hang up the phone with him, and I'm like losing my mind. And I call him back like 5 minutes later. Unbelievably, his wife put him back on the phone with me. And I said, actually, we're being recorded, so I'm not going to say what I said.
Give us the
Bleep,
no,
the bleep, bleep.
This is going to happen, and there's no two ways around it. My rig's going to be here, and we're going to bring it to you, to your shop.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you and your guys or whoever needs to
Right.
do whatever,
Is going to do it.
we're going to go to SEMA, and I don't care if it's late. I don't care if we stay up the next 2 days in a row.
Right. Well, there had been
And
probably sleepless nights before this night.
It's
that's
already been sleepless for a week.
That's
Right.
the part that gets this so good is that you are at the moment of
So,
beyond fatigue,
My
beyond
rig,
all that stuff,
I'm beyond human.
and then having to make these
So-
decisions.
I go, and 2 of my guys are with me, and we're in the rig, and we go up to his place, which luckily is kind of en route to Vegas. And we get there, I don't know, 9, 10 in the morning,
Monday morning.
Monday morning.
So it's the
At
day
this-
before.
yeah, right.
that
And we
you
are, his shop has no heat, it's freezing. And there's nothing done.
Oh,
The seats aren't done.
Oh, wow.
The door panels aren't done.
ouch.
Yeah.
There's nothing. So, in the course of, let me see, we worked all day Monday night, Tuesday, missed SEMA on Tuesday, and there's a reason why I'm setting this up. And when you watch the Rides episode, they are telling the truth. They're like, we don't know where Steve is.
Right.
They did not. And my contact was this really wonderful lady named Bernie. She was the person that was basically runs the Mopar booth. And they see her, they filmed her trying to call me, and it just going to my voicemail.
Right.
Because I'm not telling nobody nothing till I know I'm going to have an interior.
Right.
Or I commit murder.
One of the ways it was going
Yep.
big flames or
Yeah, there was not going to have a happy ending. Or one
For
way,
somebody, yeah.
was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got far enough with the interior that I was convinced that we would have it to be able to bring it up on Tuesday evening
Oh,
so that it would be there for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's when on the TV show you see her answering a phone call
And saying,
getting
"Here's-
that it's me.
here's the details.
And she worked with the union guys, and even then she's like, you need to be here between 5:30 and 6:15, and they're going to allow you to open up the door because the door is behind the Chrysler booth, and
That's
it was a
right.
big
Yeah, it was a-
deal to open
yeah.
up that door. And I mean, I was so sleep deprived, and I remember, and frozen. We were taking turns going out into the truck
getting
because
warm,
of
yeah.
diesel, getting warm and helping their guys. We were helping, literally making the fiberglass for the speaker pods and the kick panels.
yeah.
That was being made and then ground and then leather wrapped
Right.
from all day Monday and all the way to probably 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Before it was pushed into the truck.
So we went into the truck, got up to SEMA, and it's after hours, man. I mean, thank God, right? We're just going to pull it in, put it in place. And
Sneak it in there,
That's
yeah.
going to be it. And between Rides filming and everybody on Tuesday, it spread like wildfire. The cars being shot for Rides is MIA, and it's supposed to be in the Chrysler booth, and you know, it just became a thing. They opened up those doors, and the film company's got lights on me, and I can't even see
Yeah.
straight anyway.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, what? I'm like in a twilight zone. I literally am. I'm so tired. You could have just went like that, right? And now I'm trying to pull in. They're like, no, you can't get to there from here. We're going to need you. So here's the car, and I'm coming in through the big door, right? And now here's the wall of the building and then the big giant curtain display for Mopar. And they're like, we need you to back in between this all the way to the length of the Mopar booth and then come out over here and park it like that. And I'm like,
What the?
I can't even see behind me
Yeah.
right now, let alone, are you kidding? So I back it up, and that's on film too. And I back it up and I pull it into the spot. And there is this crowd.
Wow.
Along with my painter and everybody else.
Right.
And the owner of the car, because he didn't know where his car was.
I remember that part of
I
the
wasn't-
episode. Everybody was
I
standing
wasn't
there.
answering anybody's
Yeah, I
phone
remember
call.
that now. Yeah.
I was MIA.
I do remember that. They made a great.
And that I can tell you right now, that was not TV drama.
Yeah.
I was not telling anybody anything until I knew I was going to have a card there. So everyone going, where's Steve on the filming? Nobody knew where Steve was.
He's on a milk carton.
And, well, probably. So
So you park it in the
I
spot.
park it, and before I get out, Hulk Hogan's there. He like sticks his hand. He's like, "Hey man, great car." I'm like, "Man," you know.
Hey, brother.
What the fuck is going on around here?
You're completely delusional.
And I
then you
was.
see
So
that,
I
yeah.
get out, and everyone's clapping, and you can see if you watch it, I can see it in my face. I mean, I'm just gone.
Yeah.
And so I wind up staying. I didn't have a room that night. Everything got screwed up. And my awesome friend David Kidd, who at the time was working for Duplicolor,
Oh, okay.
had a room, and it keeps getting better. He had a room I can go crash in, right? It's at Treasure Island, and it's like 4 stories above their outside pirate live show.
Oh, so you got, right? Lots of
Very
sleep.
restful.
I'm just
Yes,
asking
yes.
for mercy.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
what did I
Yeah.
do? I don't
Yeah.
remember, like, putting kittens in a sack and beating them with a bat. What am
Right.
I getting this for? Right? But I get some sleep because luckily that show winds up ending by like 10 p.m. or whatever.
Hey, we'd like to thank our sponsor, ARP-bolts.com. We got a fantastic little backdrop here. They make an outstanding series of bolts, almost anything you would need for engines, chassis, things like that. In fact, we were at lunch today, and a guy asked you about the bolt on the back of your shirt, and I said, well, it's really about a head bolt. They neck the stem down of the bolt on a short, small block Chevy head bolt, so the clamp load is even across 3 different head bolt lengths on a small block Chevy. And, so that's the kind of technology that you get out of ARP. And we've all got stories on all that
Right.
stuff.
Well,
but,
for a translation of what he said, call ARPbolts.com.
but the message is that you can't get any better than that.
No, you cannot.
There
Yep.
you go.
Thanks.
We'd like to thank our friends at InTheGarageMedia.com. They have 3 fantastic magazines. They've got Classic Truck Performance, they have Modern Rotting, and my favorite, All Chevy Performance with Nick, my buddy Nick,
Oh,
is
you're
the
so
editor.
biased.
So yes, of course. But it's a fantastic book. They're doing print media, which
Yes.
is of course our favorite. So
In
Tangible
color and
magazine.
everything.
in color and everything, and you can get your car on the cover of one of those books, which is
Right.
a
Now
fun
that's a
deal.
lot.
Great
yeah.
tech.
Great
written
tech.
by
You know,
and
not
others
always
that are
written by me,
famous
but
people.
Yeah.
Famous people
Not
have written all the
always
tech.
written by me.
That's right.
Just
So
pick it
check
up and
them
read
out
it.
at
Yes.
InTheGarageMedia.com, and they're our friends, and they will thank you.
And the next day, when they're filming, I look like I actually got sleep. And the response to Hammer was humongous.
Yeah.
I mean, it was huge. And then I got a phone call about, I don't know, 3-4 months later from a really awesome gentleman who's become a friend named Dennis McCarthy.
All right, movie guy.
Movie TV guy. And he calls up and he goes, "Hey, you Steve Strope?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I hear you got a badass Mopar." And I go, "Well, I built one for someone." Yeah. He goes, "Well, I called the guys at Hot Rod Magazine and asked who's got the most killer Mopar in Southern California, and they said you did." And I go, "All right, I do." He goes, "Well, there's an add-on scene that we're filming for Tokyo Drift. It's the Fast and Furious 3. And we need your Roadrunner because this is back in time. It's a write-in we need your Roadrunner to be Vin Diesel's car.
Right.
And I said,
Can you reach the pedals?
He said that.
Emails go too.
Email Marcel at.
So I said, sure. And we took the car down, and it wound up being just an awesome cameo shot. And
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah.
they pan across the back, across the
They
legs.
did a
and
good
say,
job.
No, yeah, that
They
was
actually
rad.
featured that
And
unique
My
instrument.
dash and
cluster.
Yeah,
everything.
no, exactly. It was
I
cool.
got it.
Yeah.
If we've got a minute, I got a story about that for filming that. So anyway, we film it, and they're great. And the car wound up. They copied it and used it in Fast 4. Letty dies in it.
Right.
And
Oh,
then-
yeah.
Flip it, yeah.
And they also copied
yeah.
my blue Torino, the bad guys.
I
car
remember
in
that.
Force.
That's
They made it
right.
Green.
You know?
They made it green.
They made
right?
it green, yeah.
And then in 6, they used the Anvil Mustang for Tyrese's
that.
car.
That's
that
right.
gets
Run over by a tank.
Yep.
That made me mad. Sorry.
Made me mad.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
like
I'll
that.
tell you. Oh, Dennis,
yeah.
Dennis,
He's
and
got
your
a good
friends.
story, yeah.
They're out of the country filming that.
Right.
Right. They took the car.
Oh wait, you're watching it and
no.
you see.
Oh
yeah.
no. I get a photograph from them.
Even better. So out of
Because-
context, you get a
because it
you get a
was,
photo.
It was said that this is going to be a car.
Hero car.
Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah.
be a hero car. It's going to be static.
Yeah.
It's going to be the beauty shot. It's going to be da-da-da. And we might do some driving, but it's blah, blah, blah.
Cut
right?
to you getting a photo of
I get
that
a text
car,
photo of it flattened.
tank tracks right through it. Yeah.
Just flat, just not, I mean, flattened.
Right.
And just something smart ass like, we had an accident. Or an
Yeah.
incident.
I kind of
Incident.
like
We
these
had
guys.
an incident.
I kind of like these
Yes.
guys.
And
This
I
is
went,
pretty funny.
I was like, because
Yeah,
that
you're-
car's not cheap.
no,
Right. No, that
carbon
wasn't-
fiber everything.
Yeah.
Remember?
That car's handmade, then carbon fiber,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and I'm like, and I got to tell the owner, and what the, I don't care about if you've got the money to replace it. Jeez, we just built that.
Yeah.
Was it
Then
the
I-
first
then I
70
get-
carbon fiber?
Oh, that 69, but we made
oh,
all,
69,
we
yeah.
made
Yeah.
all the bucks for Anvil to make their
Yeah.
carbon parts.
Yeah. Right.
We created all
It
that
was-
shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, then I get a photograph of 3 of them stacked on top of each other, flattened. And I'm like,
Oh, okay.
Photoshop on phones?
stunt double cars you made. I go, oh, you are so talented.
Yeah.
No
That's
doubt.
dirty
Don't
pool.
even come back to the States.
no
yeah.
doubt. That's just
I'll wait for you on the plane.
But I love it. But I
You
do love
people
it.
aren't funny.
Yeah.
It's
You
kind
go-
of funny from
yeah.
this side.
Oh, yeah,
From
that's
this
right.
chair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
funny.
they got to laugh at it.
Yeah. They loved it.
He was probably getting me back. Well, he wasn't getting me back, but back to Hammer being filmed, right? So we're down in this freaking basement of this closed mall that we're filming in, and we started filming at like 11 or 12 p.m., right? And it's like 4 in the morning now, 5 in the morning now, and Dennis, of course, is the person to break news to me, not the director who's there, and he goes, hey, because you know Dennis.
Yeah.
He's a straight up guy.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he goes, then he stopped. He goes, how much?
Really?
Yeah, because he knew he better tempt me with money.
Yeah.
Which didn't work.
Oh, yeah.
But he goes, how much to, well, the director wants to take the passenger door off. I'm like, why?
Yeah. Why?
And he goes, well, so they can, he
Yeah.
goes, your gauges and the whole interior is really killer, and they want a clearer shot of Vin in it and showing the shifter and all that stuff. And I go, no.
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, we know how to take doors off. And I go, we're not taking the door off that car,
Yeah.
Dennis. I go, I don't want to make you look bad. I don't want to make me look bad. I know these guys are not used to being told no.
Yeah.
I go, but due to the fact that the owner is not here to get direct permission from,
Yeah.
and I refuse to be responsible for
The
saying
level
yes.
of paint, panel gap,
Yeah, I'm not.
you just can't
right.
do it.
I'm
not
Like, no,
doing
there
it.
is no amount of money.
I'm not doing it
Yeah,
again.
I get
Yeah.
you.
Let
I get you.
alone the person to ask is not here and not available.
Yeah.
I am responsible for it, but I am not the owner.
Right.
Do not put me in this position, please. And okay. And then 10, 15 minutes later, are you sure? I mean, I go, they are willing
To spend.
to fork it out.
Interesting.
And I go, I see me really rich and then really in trouble.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then undoing it all, just having
I
to
go-
fix whatever happens. Yeah.
So I just use reverse, and I said something along the lines of, come on, you guys are the greatest. You guys know how to get that shot. You don't need your door off for it. Come on. And it did look awesome. Yeah. And they did get a great shot. And you saw him clearly and the gauges and everything.
Yeah.
But it was so interesting because I was like, I'm not doing that. Are you crazy? And he goes, well, we'll let you do it. And I'm like, oh, no.
That doesn't make it
better. That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. So it's crazy. Hammer was a massive emotional and physical roller coaster ride just to create it, just to build it. And then at the end, what a struggle. And let alone that, I mean, I was in the pits of depression. And when we went up and there was nothing ready for the interior, and I was like,
yeah, that's a bummer.
You gotta be
But
kidding
you
me.
dug deep.
I dug deep.
You were depleted, and yet you still were able to execute that thing. But so my point
Look at all
is
the
that
good that happened.
But here it is, years later, maybe none as traumatic as that, but plenty very close to that.
There's been plenty of shit like that.
That's what I'm saying. You do it every year, you crazy person.
Sadomasochist.
So here we are. So here we are, people watching. Where are we this year, heading into SEMA 2024?
For me?
Yeah.
Since I don't got a car.
Right. We had that one little.
I am unbelievably comfortable.
Okay, so this is why we're getting the happy seat.
Yeah, this is
time.
why you
I like this.
But I think with age and experience comes kind of a calming nerve.
Okay.
Because I too have, over the last 25 years, I've probably built a car a year for at least 20 years in a row.
Okay.
And took it to SEMA. And I think there's a time, because for the people on the other side of the camera right now, they don't really give you parts until September. So a SEMA build is really not a year, because everyone says, especially my wife's always like, why don't you guys start the day after?
Plan better,
right?
do it earlier, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but then it's old, right? So you really kind of start a SEMA build in September.
And the thing is when you're doing a SEMA car like you do, that is your trapment. I'm maybe working for 2.5 years.
Right, because there's metal work.
Because we're hand building a car from nothing, and we're still having, where's that?
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be here last week. And
Right.
what do you mean?
Or
we're
going to make this part. Can you wait for us until we have parts ready available? You're like, how long am I going to wait?
Yeah. There's always, it's so funny because obviously the armchair warrior, so like, you should have started earlier. You've been doing this for so long. Can't you plan better? It's like, I can plan till the cows come home.
Yeah.
But when you're building, the key thing is when you're building something that's one-off, never been done before, and you're planning for that, how?
Yeah.
Well, you should be able to. Well, then how's this? You go start a hand-built car company. You design cars that get in 3 to 4 magazines at a time.
Right.
You build cars year after year after year that get press and media, and keep trying to break the mold and keep trying to push yourself. And when you're successful at doing it, you can tell me how to do it.
I like that.
Until then, between the two of us, I'm the expert. And I'm telling you right now, your thesis is incorrect. You're pie in the sky of, well, if I was doing that, you're missing a whole lot of... And there's a whole lot of factors outside of your control.
The lack of perspective.
No matter how well
changes.
you planned it and organized it.
Yeah.
Say I planned Hammer down to the final. There's no way I was planning for, and the interior guy wasn't going to be bringing an interior.
Right.
He did not send me a letter. 3 weeks ahead of time, going, just want to let you know.
Yeah.
Well, by the way,
we're not going to do this.
That isn't part of the planning.
Yeah.
So it's how you land on your feet.
Right.
Stop, drop, and roll.
But you have to be resilient enough to continue to
crazy
do this.
enough.
A little crazy. You have to be. I mean,
Well,
you have to be a little crazy.
you guys, Steve had brown hair last month. I mean,
No doubt. Now it's turning gray. There's no question about that.
yeah.
But it's just dealing with it. It's how you deal with it.
But isn't that kind of like almost the challenge too?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I look at it that way.
Because I know it's coming.
Right.
I know that train's coming.
Oh, yeah.
So it's how gracefully you push through it.
How well
and
you
get there.
dodge the freaking bullets.
But I also think...
endure it. You have to endure it. And
Because you
get out the other side.
You get hit by a couple of the
But I
sides.
also think that's people that build cars that take them to SEMA, and when you really see something that you can tell someone executed properly and looks good, you almost have to give them more props, because you know that the shitstorm was already behind them,
you know
and
what?
they pulled that off.
I don't know if I coined it, but I do know I hadn't heard it before, and it was recorded on that Rides episode, and I've heard it said since that. I hadn't heard it said before that, so I can't say I lay claim to it. I'm just saying I never heard it recorded before my hammer issue where I said it's the SEMA curse.
yeah,
And I've heard
yeah.
that said
Right.
a lot of times, and it is. And all of us, to the greatest, Foos has stories of, oh my God, what 2-3 hours before we're supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
Even the greatest of the great.
But I think it just goes to show that you guys at that level, the next level of what you guys have to deal with, right? It's not just the design
It's
of the
how
car
you-
and
it's
putting
how
the
you
team
act
together
and
to build
react
the
to it.
car. It's
Yep.
how you make those decisions when you're completely frazzled and
Or pushed in the corner.
right, and then
Yeah.
are able to still execute on that level, and then come back the next year and do it again.
Right.
I think you do have to be a little bit crazy, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
But in a good way. I mean,
You got
artists,
personal issues.
artists tend to be that way, but I think that has to be a little bit in there.
No,
but it's
totally.
amazing. I've admired it, you know, and I've been lucky to be around it a few times, and I just can't believe what you do. And then you do it again, and then again, you're driven to push.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people would be like, okay, I did it, and then now I'll just coast next year and do something, whatever. You don't ever do that.
No.
You just take it, you
Yeah.
ratchet it up one more
I
turn
just,
and
you
go.
know, I so enjoy
Yeah.
the creative process that I'll take the beating along the way.
You know what? That's part
Kind
of
of, sort of.
It's a little crazy, but I love it.
Yeah,
That's
I
what makes
love
you
I
guys
love the
special.
creative process so much that, you know, you take a couple of hits, you know, because it just doesn't. You could sit there, you know, not in real life, just setting it up as a statement. I could sit there afterwards with crutches and a sling, but if it looks bitchin',
You feel good.
it negates all the pain.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even remember, you know, you're like, wasn't yesterday, like I couldn't even stand because I was so
Yeah.
tired.
Right.
But
But
now-
right now you're on such a high because
Right.
everyone's digging the car.
Right. Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing too. We're maybe complaining, belly aching right now, but
Oh, no, I'm just stating.
Tuesday morning when the doors open,
It's so cool.
it's just like a euphoric, like
Yeah.
the whole like from
Dig
your
what
floor-
I did.
yeah, like and just and then the first person that walks up and goes
That's
like
the rush.
and does this to you, you're just like, man.
Oh, yeah. That's
Wow,
so cool.
it was worth it. I don't even know how many days were in October, but guess
You know,
what? Now
And
this is wonderful.
I love the judge by peers because I call the group that I respect the 2%ers, right? And I know who they are for me.
Right.
And when I have a car on display at SEMA or at the Grand National Roadster Show, and so, who I've known for years, but I respect their work and their creativity and what they do. And I'm talking with someone, I see them, they're like rolling through my booth and they take a look at the car. They're not doing spy stuff, they're just looking at the car.
Yeah.
And we'll catch each other's eye and I'll get
Yeah.
the nod, and I'm
means a
like,
lot, yeah.
that
So
right
you're-
there is
yeah.
why I'm fucking here.
Right.
Is
Your peers.
my
Your
peers said, not bad.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Yeah.
You know, that feels so euphoric to
get
me.
that, yeah.
Well,
So I don't need the 8 billion.
Right.
I mean, the 8 billion accolades are really awesome.
Sure.
And I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah.
And they do make you feel good.
But when other skilled
But when
craftsmen see it,
your
yeah.
peers
Yeah.
go,
yeah.
Nice work.
nice work.
Now that's funny you bring that up because I've been on both sides of that. Okay, so like I mentioned, I built a lot of cars for SEMA and for a lot of different manufacturers, and they've been displayed inside, outside, different places. And of course, I've gone up for design awards before, and unfortunately, I haven't been given a design award. However,
Well, yeah, for it.
I did when I won. I am a recipient of one of the years of being in the top 10 worst cars of SEMA. Right?
Who does that?
So this is a funny story. So
Who does that?
A friend of
Are we allowed to continue?
we're gonna do this pretty quick, right? Okay. So
Okay, just checking.
So
My apologies.
a friend of mine who has recently passed, Tom McWaney from Customs Inc., worked at Coast Airbrush, which was a paint supply store here in Southern California. And somebody came in from ABC Studios and said, we're looking for somebody to paint a car. So Tom's like, oh, I paint cars. So he goes, great, we've got this project for you. Go to this body shop. We have a rendering. Go. Okay. So I get the call from Tom. He's like, we're going to make some money. Great. Jump in this car, run over to San Pedro, go to this body shop, and there's this Kia. Scion? I don't even remember what car it is. It was a Scion. Thank you, voice of God. A Scion TC.
That's God. Okay.
Yes.
Very disappointing letdown.
I mean, seem taller.
Well, and then when he morphs into Morgan Freeman, it's a little better. Right?
In the press photos, you look bigger.
A little taller.
So we show up, and this TC's there, and they show us this rendering, and the whole idea was it was for an actor. The voice of God will let me know this is. Chef. Eddie Wong is the person that's, he had a TV show called Fresh Off the Boat. And he said, this is...
Be confused with boat people.
Well, anyway, so he says, I grew up in this neighborhood, lowriders were my inspiration, so I want a TC Scion lowrider style. And so we're given this rendering, and I look at that, and without even, the guy opens it up, and without even being polite to the guy, my first reaction comes out, I'm not painting that. Just no.
That's definitive.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
Like,
it's good. People
and
like
that's your
that
gut
when
reaction.
My gut reaction is no.
It's good when you show authority.
Yeah.
And the guy looks at me and goes, why, what's wrong with that? I go, it's ugly.
All of it.
All right, this is a
Point to
no.
a section.
Burn it. Put it.
So we ended up, well, so we compromised because there was an artist that drew some symmetrical panda on the hood.
Panda?
And it looked, okay.
What does that have to do with lowrider?
Well, no, see, ugly.
Shouldn't it be an Aztec goddess or something?
Not yet. So obviously you guys remember spiral graph, right?
Yes.
Right? The thing, you put the pin in there and you kind of do little shapes and
What
stuff.
I was doing last week?
Whoa, look at you. So that's kind of the design, was these different circles that would make a panda. If you kind of close one eye and put a thumb like that and you look at the hood, it'd look like a panda.
Right.
But if you didn't close one eye and do a thumb like that, it looked like a bunch of circles on the car. Right? And so then it's this yellow.
Confusing.
Not very lowriderish.
Well, no. So yellow Murano pearl is the base color, and so they want this, crazy fade thing with Louis Vuitton and all this stuff. And see? So again, not my cup of tea, right?
It's not even a cup of tea.
So
It's
we
a
ended up
bucket of
kind of tweaking it around. Yeah.
Thank you.
We ended up tweaking it around a little bit. And the guy, hey, this is great. Let's take it to SEMA. And parked right out in front of the front door.
Awesome, possum.
Right? Like just everybody's going to see this car.
That's great. And you don't have to admit you did it.
And everybody's like, I didn't say anything about it, but I heard people like, did you see that thing outside? And, I was just kind of like, whoa, okay. But again, my check cash, so I was good to go, right? So then all of a sudden on the old Instagram there, everybody starts kind of, here's the best cars of SEMA. Well, now here's the worst cars of SEMA. And you know what? The funny thing, I took it pretty hard. I was like, what are you talking about? The worst car? And I'm like already walking around kind of, what about that? What about that? What about that? My buddy Tom did the greatest thing. He goes, man, I'm just happy that I finally am the top 10 of something.
That's a good way of looking at it.
That is an
why not?
optimistic
There
outlook.
you go, right? Yeah, say it's something.
So SEMA to me is a fraternity.
Wards off suicide.
It helps.
SEMA to me is, but SEMA is
less mess.
it's a fraternity. All of us get together once a year.
Oh, yeah.
We all look at what, if you were a part of it, or if it's your project, or whatever happens. And like you said, it's one of those things you can walk by and look at somebody and go like, mad respect.
Yeah.
For the guys that really pull it off.
Yep.
Sure. And I don't really think that they do the worst cars of SEMA anymore. I mean, that's kind of rude, but
Kinda.
A little bit.
There's
But-
always a kind of remember SEMA is the invention of Bluetooth drive shafts. Things
Exactly.
Like that. So it kind of is in the spirit of that.
Yes.
That was a
Yes.
thing,
Yes.
in the world of cars that were almost finished and then just pushed
Well,
out onto the floor.
is it SEMA ready?
Yeah.
Bluetooth
Right?
drive
Is it a push?
shaft.
And there are
Because
different.
I love that.
Yeah.
Every year I take account of how many Bluetooth drive shafts I see on cool builds. I'm
Yeah.
like, they were.
And
in a hurry.
there is now a couple years back there was and again too we're talking
There's
about
always
these,
more than you'd think.
well we're talking about these
Yeah.
large lifted trucks with the the large wheels, small
And the
tires,
neon?
right, and all that.
Don't forget the
There's
neon.
that for sure.
There was a couple years
I
ago
like
there was
a yellow truck with white interior and pink lighting.
Hey, don't take my idea, man.
You'll find several of those.
But there was Jason, there was actually a truck a few years ago that the guy actually, the front diff cover, he had somebody machine the Bluetooth logo on. He embraced it.
I remember
He
that.
was just like,
Yeah,
yep,
I love that
yep.
guy. Yeah,
So I got to
that
give the
was
guy
good.
props. That guy was pretty cool. Yeah. So
Like we all know, like some
Yeah.
people just don't quite meet the bar. The car gets pushed out into the
It's got
display.
that.
Hence the term pusher.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Right.
It's SEMA ready.
Yep.
And that's a whole. That's its own term.
I've done
SEMA
that.
ready.
And there's
no
different-
wiring under it.
Right.
But it kind
I've
of
had the
runs.
wiring.
Well, I've had that too. I took a truck there in 2003. Took a '56 Chevy pickup in 2003, and again too, it was a pusher. I didn't make it, and it had 0 wiring in it, and it was
Oh,
parked
we're
out.
not allowed to run them anyway.
Right, exactly. So it was parked out
Fire
front.
marshal, have your balls.
Right.
And I always love to kind of take a step back and kind of watch the people, talk about it. And why'd that guy do that? Or look at what he did here.
Yeah.
And so this guy was,
I like that Panda.
yeah, right. This guy was looking at it for like 30 or 40 minutes.
Someone had a seizure looking at that Panda.
Well, if you, again, thumb, one eye. But so this guy, yeah, Steve too. Yeah.
Or you
Oh, right? There's that guy.
That's awesome.
So this guy for 30 or 40 minutes is just like, I mean, he's underneath the truck. He's looking around. He's, under the hood, looking at the engine compartment, all stuff.
Looking at it.
And he finally looks at his buddy, goes, man, this guy must be a wiring genius because I can't find a wire on this car.
Oh, nice.
I had to walk up to the guy and go, because there's not.
Nothing we don't get it.
Right? Came
Or
here in the
coulda-
trailer right over
Ding,
there.
ding, ding,
Could have
ding.
kind of gone with that one. You could have kind of said,
Yeah.
It's
actually
all Bluetooth.
Bluetooth.
Oh, Bluetooth.
Bluetooth.
Yes.
That could have been
Everything.
Tesla wiring, but
We
Nikola
have to-
Tesla.
God says you have to end now.
Okay, well, we got to get back to work on our SEMA projects.
Yes.
No,
that-
mine's relaxing.
So I'm glad to hear that this year. I'm
Me
very
too.
happy to hear
I mean,
that.
I'm disappointed, but on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know what this feeling is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing
is
this,
this odd
Steve
feeling I'm
in
feeling?
mid-October.
You might be able to go trick-or-treating. Whoa.
Yeah, so this is a rarity. This is
go-
why
yeah.
I wanted to deep dive into why I see this guy.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I mean, behaving like a
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
good
Glad to see you.
citizen.
Glad to see you in this shape this mid-October.
Yeah, don't wait till
feeling
next
good.
year.
Right, exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I hope
Well, I'll
to.
do it again, right.
I hope
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
And we'll it would be a fun A/B of.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun for you.
Yeah.
All of us out here going, how's it going there, bud?
And I'm in a corner.
Yeah,
Shaking.
exactly.
So am I doing the wrap thing now? Am I wrapping it up? And we got to check in with God there. You want to do this one? You know how to do the outro?
I can think I might be able to handle
I'm
that.
going to let him do the outro.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
we call that
please
an
watch
outro?
Car Guy Confessions featuring Jeff Smith, who's not here right now,
Or Cam.
or Cam Benty, who's also
Not here right now.
Here,
he's on assignment. Please follow us on our YouTube channel, what you're watching. Also, check out Man, I can't say that's hard.
ARP-bolts.com.
ARP-bolts.com. Okay, that. And also, please, if you are in the greater Los Angeles area, please come over here and look at the Peterson Museum.
No, just fly here.
or take
Just
a
get
bus.
here.
Yeah. Just
Right?
Come see it.
It's pretty
Yep,
cool.
it's amazing here. It really is.
So thank you. Please continue to watch even after this train wreck.
Yeah.
And we'll bring more, I'm sure.
Or Cam and Jeff back.
Okay, one of those.
Okay. Thank y'all.